Hello and welcome back, and if you're new here, thanks for checking out this channel. This is just going to be a very small quick update on Bracken, our red Siberian Husky pup. We've had him coming up for nigh on a week now. Time is flying, but I thought I'd give you a very quick update on how we're managing, and on top of that the living conditions which we're providing for Bracken. So yeah, I'll let you have a little quick look. So we've got the dog back here at home, and obviously we've got ourselves into a well-established routine now. The first 2 days were pretty long, hard and tedious, as everybody, including the dog, was getting used to how things were now beginning to develop as we all learned to live with each other. Now, we have split our house into areas the dog can go and areas the dog can't go. There's a reason for that, because ultimately we want to keep the upstairs pretty much to ourselves and the living room free from a pet, because that gives us the option to entertain, and if anybody comes into the house we have that room we can go into, and it allows us to leave the back door open to our garden. So that will mean Bracken, the Husky, will have access, providing the weather isn't too inclement, to come and go as it pleases. So this is our kitchen and, well, basically dining room, and pretty much it's the heart of the house where everything seems to happen for us. We have a slate floor, which is a massive advantage while we've been toilet training the actual dog, and it's just been a quick wipe up if there's been any accidents, but we're pretty much almost there after a week. The dog has pretty much got used to where and what it needs to do when it needs to go toilet, and indeed it's found its own areas in the garden. But Bracken's cage, and you will see him here, is down here. He's in a relatively quiet little corner, so he can get some peace from the children running about, and you know, he's not in the way, but that's where he is at the moment. I'll be taking him into the garden in a moment. So from where Bracken's cage is, or crate, or however you know you call it, we have the hallway, and he has free access out here as well. Slate floor yet again. We have a stair gate here which we close. That stops him going upstairs, and as I said, that's pretty much an area just for ourselves. Bring you round, front door, and then you've obviously got a stair gate leading into our front room. The kids are on holiday, so it's a little bit of a mess, but yet again we can isolate this, giving the children and any visitors, you know, a room they can go in, and they don't have to deal with a bounding dog or pet. So Bracken basically, as an indoor area, has all our hallway, and incidentally he can sit here, which he does do, and he will lie and be content just watching us, yet he's in full eyesight and he feels part of the family, yet he doesn't have full access to the room. Then I'll bring you back out here to Bracken. There he is. Yeah, we're going to go outside in a moment. And he has all this here. But for us, 9 times out of 10, because I'm in and out because of doing my crafting, I'm in and out of the workshop and that, we shut this door here to retain the heat of the house, and we actually have the back door open. Not fully, and yes, I'm taking you out, and he can gain access to the garden. Right, Bracken? Hey, that's a good boy. Come on, get a drink. You want some food? keeping an eye on his food. And basically, we're feeding him 3 times a day till he gets bored of eating, then we take it away. So he's not able to overindulge. What are you doing? You coming out? Come on. You going out? You going to go out? Nope. Just having a nice drink there. I'll put my boots on, then he'll come out into the garden with me. But he's quite happy in himself to go in and out now. He's become accustomed to the garden, and the garden is his own personal world. He's learnt to play in, and he's got a few areas in there which he's mapped out for weeing, pooing, and indeed areas he likes to dig in and you know, playing. And he's discovered leaves which he's running around after and eating, which we're trying to stop him doing that, but yes, he seems to be quite partial to a leaf or two. And this is the reason we segregate the house, or part of it. We have a 4 and a 6-year-old children, or boys, and they're very energetic as well. But ultimately, it's kids' toys. We're trying to avoid him chewing and ingesting plastic parts. You can tell the kids, you know, don't leave it around. But at that age, you know, you're going to find things that the kids leave behind. So basically, it's for his safety as well. Bracken. Now, point in question, he's actually picked up one of the kids' beach toys. It's pretty indestructible. It's not a splintering type of plastic, but even so, I don't want him to ingest it. And as you can see, he's full of life, full of beans. And he loves rope. My kids will run around the garden with this rope, and he will chase them all day long. But I've got to go and get this toy from him at the moment. Bracken, that's a good boy. Yeah. Say hello. Yeah. That's a good boy. Right, I'm going to put this out of the way. The door to my workshop is actually shut. The cats live in there, and obviously we want to keep that a safe haven for them. Although they've actually got used to Bracken and will actually sit with him, although I never trust a dog. We obviously keep the alleyway back door shut. He can't get out of there. We don't want any worries, so we just keep that bolted. But we have good fencing all the way down the bottom on either side, and he cannot get out through any of that. There is one area that I do need to work on, and that is my back hedge. At the moment he hasn't paid it too much attention, but I will have to block off that entrance. There is a 20-foot drop out into the field with brambles, so I'm pretty sure he wouldn't look at that and want to go out over. But this one here, that's going to need something there to deter him. Like I said, there is brambles down there, but I'm sure he would still get out if he had the mind to do so. The chickens, well, he's actually got used to the chickens. He's got a healthy interest, but not enough where he's trying to get in at them. So I've got to sort that out. And he's going for a wee. He's found the chickens down here somewhere he likes to go for a wee. But like I say, he doesn't pay too much attention to them. Yeah. Take you for a little walk in a minute. He's just found a stick, having a chew on. He's very partial to do that, although I do try to stop him, because, you know, you do worry that a bit of stick could get stuck in his throat or stomach if he was to swallow it. But, you know, he's pretty energetic. Yeah, come here. Come, Bracken. Say hello. But he's got a big enough area, he can run around here, so, you know, he's not confined to our kitchen and hallway. he's got, you know, what I would say is a very good, healthy home setup here. Because I've filled this woodshed up, in fact I was given another tree actually, which I've bucked up, limbed, you know, cut into rounds and bits and bobs, and I've put in here. That won't be any good till next year, and I've had to rearrange and stack here. As you can see, I've got no room in this shed, which is where I used to do all my crafting when I was doing sanding, because I don't have extraction in my workshop. So I was using this here stool pad here, sitting here sanding, and all morning Bracken has been running around doing his thing in the garden, as you can see him over here, and having a whale of a time. And yeah, I've been sat there sanding and getting you know, sticks shaped and prepped ready to go to the next stage of production. But my companion, Bracken, has been with me the whole time. Like I said, I think he's got a pretty good setup here for himself. Now I've got a lead, he knows exactly what it is now. Obviously he's a pup, you can't take him for long walks. There is guidance online that you can refer to, but I just take him round the corner, and I've been slowly acclimatising him to vehicles, other people, cattle and sheep in the gateways, and basically letting him broaden his world so he can just smell, you know, hear birds. Here he was actually petrified of wind going through the trees and the leaves, but he's now become accustomed to that, haven't you, boy? Yeah. Right, I'll put the lead on and we'll go for a little walk just around the corner. So 30 metres from my front door you can hit country lanes, and I'm going to have to untangle Bracken. Where are you two? There you go. Come on. And there's a car coming down the road, and I'm gradually getting him acclimatised to the sound of cars. He heard the car and he's just walking on. When he first heard that noise, he was quite shell-shocked and would cower down in the corner, but he's gradually getting used to the noise. Like I said, he can't go far because he's a pup, but I just take him up to a few of the gateways to introduce him to cattle and sheep just through the gate, and just let him acclimatise to the world around him. Bracken, Bracken, shh, Bracken, that's a boy. Bracken. Right, he doesn't pull on a lead, which I'm grateful for. He's not one of those dogs that's choking itself as he goes up the road. So that's one plus. But what I am training him to do is operate on a belt lead system, so I've got hands free, because eventually he will come with me on expeditions for like 20 miles across the moors. So I will need all my hands available, and I do not want to be pulling and using a hand to control the dog. He will be tied around my waist to a belt. There's a dog in the back of that truck. That's a really well trained dog, he sits in there. So hopefully you can see what I'm talking about here. I've got him attached to my belt. I will get a proper belt harness, so basically I'm hands free, so you know, I will be able to conduct my hiking, you know, unencumbered by holding a dog, yet having the dog fully under my control. I will never let Bracken run totally free. I'm not an advocate of that, quite simply because, you know, I don't want him to come into any harm, and I would hate to think that he would, you know, cause harm to livestock. I mean, I live in an agricultural area, so, you know, that is first and foremost on my mind. So, you know, and on top of that, when I'm passing over or along footpaths, In a lot of cases, if I'm bushwhacking or climbing over sties or manoeuvring over obstacles, I will need to be hands-free. And obviously with him, you know, attached to me, I will be able to conduct myself doing that, and he'll follow suit. He'll be no more than a few feet away from me. Now I usually stand on the road and keep him on the soft ground as we go up through this little bit of road to the next gateway, just to, you know, make it less, shall we say, shock on his joints and that, which is what you're trying to protect as a puppy. But, you know, obviously he smells cow poo, horse poo or something like that on the road, and he instantly wants to investigate. That's no different than any dog, but, you know, we are in a rural area, so, you know, the roads are covered in cow poo, so it's just something I've got to deal with. But yeah, as you can see, he's getting used to his world out here. And like I said, no, you don't want to eat that. That's sheep's poo. You don't want to eat that. That's why your breath stinks. Come on, up here. Come on the grass. Come on the grass. No. Okay, let's go to this gateway. But like I said, I am lucky he doesn't pull on the lead. And I'm also getting him used to a hiking stick. So what I've been doing when I'm using a hiking stick is walking along, and I'm actually exaggerating my use of it, tapping the ground, and that's helping keep him in a straight line. He can hear the noise beside him and he just wants to keep walking straight, even though he's determined to go into the hedge for a sniff. I'm instilling him that, you know, he has to keep moving forward. And that is quite simply, if I'm out hiking and I'm on like a 10-mile hike, I don't want to have to be stopping every 2 minutes to investigate every new smell, sight and sound that he actually wants to investigate. I actually do want to cover ground myself. Come on, Bracken, let's have a look here. Look at this view. Look at this view. Hey, you don't want to go under there. Look at this view. And all that before you is where you will be going, Bracken. Yes. So he's sleeping in our room at the moment, and that wasn't the intention. I take the crate up each night and put in our room. The first 2 nights, boy, didn't he howl and howl and howl. Nothing we could do could console him. Obviously he was away from his mother, and yes, he was howling all the time. So that obviously, you know, meant that we had to do something about it, because we've got young children and neighbours. So he did actually have me sleeping with him for those first 2 nights downstairs on a camp bed where you saw the crate. But that couldn't continue, so we've taken the crate upstairs. But as he's settled in and he's aware now the crate is like a safe place for him, and he knows we're always there in the house or coming back, he's become a lot more happy to actually sleep in the crate. And we're getting to the point where I think very shortly, when he goes to sleep there, as long as we leave a downstairs light on so he feels there could be somebody around downstairs, we may be able to go upstairs and leave the crate down there. That's something we're going to work on, but it's looking very positive that that will happen within the next few days, I think, or we'll try it anyway. And here he is playing with me now. If you stop for one moment, he just wants to play. Yay. You like your nose touched? Oh, you're going to be a big strong boy, aren't you? Yep, come on, let's go. Come on. Yay. Come on. You're really excitable. This is one of the reasons you can understand why we called him Bracken, because as you can see, he's the colour of the bracken in the hedges that are dying back in autumn. And obviously we got him in autumn, and yeah, he's the colour of bracken. There's rain on the way, but that's one thing that we've learnt about bracken. When it's raining, he isn't too keen to go out in the garden. He'll scoot out and scoot back in. That's something that he will have to get used to with me and hiking up on the moors. So this gateway marks about 5 minutes from the entrance where we hit the lane, and yeah, that's as far as he goes now, because obviously we're building him up. But you know, all that in front of him is where he'll be spending his life now, and I'll do my very best to let him explore every inch of that out there with me and have a fulfilling life. He's already a bundle of excitement and joy, but yeah, I won't lie, it has been and it is hard work. Now, as with every young puppy, they will chew and try to put things in their mouth, but that's, you know, just that little bit more enhanced with this as a Siberian Husky. We knew that, we'd seen and done the research on it, and you know, it's everything that we were told. And it takes both of us, do monitor him. We don't want him to wreck our house, and we don't want any resentment, and obviously for the extra little bit of effort that it requires on our part to keep an eye on him and make sure everything stays safe, and indeed, you know, not end up in his mouth, for that little bit of extra work, it's worth it, because you know, it just makes you feel that you're doing your bit to help him acclimatise to your home, and you not have any grudging resentment about items within your home being destroyed. So, you know, a Siberian Husky doesn't come, you know, without any real work commitments to it. You have to be prepared to put in a lot of effort, you know, to make the dog happy and also keep yourself happy. Yes, I didn't escape it. He has done a poo out here. I've picked it up, even though we are in the countryside, and you know, very few people will probably get anywhere near this hedge. You still pick it up. It is the right and the correct thing to do. So we're about just to go around the corner and head into our house. You know, I can't lie and I can't joke about it. It is a lot of work, and if you're thinking of investing any money and time into a Siberian Husky, you have to be prepared to, you know, put a lot of effort, a lot of resources and a lot of time towards one of these dogs. You know, particularly as, you know, within the puppy stage. It's going to be worth it. We've all fallen in love with him. He's good with the kids, but I'm going to chuck a caveat in with that. He's very excitable with the kids, and I'll be blatantly honest with you, I've never trusted a dog in my whole life around kids or vulnerable people, and I will never trust Bracken fully. You know, it's just an inherent decision I've got in my head, and I've always, even with other dogs I've had in the past, you know, I never fully trust a dog. You know, and whatever your view on that, that's something that you have to make that personal decision. But you know, he's a loving dog, and he's already providing the family a lot of love. We're giving him a lot of love, you know, and hopefully you can see he's going to have a very fulfilling life here with us. I've got a nature reserve I'm going to go and see within the next few days, just to see how autumn's progressing. I meant to go last week, I didn't, but it's surprising how much time this little puppy's taken up in our household, you know, that with crafting and 2 young boys. So, you know, you can't take you know, a puppy for granted. A puppy isn't for Christmas, as the saying goes. So yeah, I'm going to go down and see that nature reserve and see how autumn is progressing down there, and I'll take you for that little hike. Incidentally, it's a dog-free nature reserve, so Bracken will never experience that. But yeah, I will bring you along on that, and I'm sure Bracken will be making many appearances in the future on many of my hikes. But he's still a little way off that because obviously, being a puppy, they can't do any real distance yet. So it's all the best from me, and I'll catch you again, and I'll give you one little sneak peek of Bracken, and I'll let him say bye. Bracken, Bracken, say bye.